Hi everyone, Holly here. Today I'm coming from our In the Garden HQ in London NW6, and today I wanted to share how we pot up beautiful Phalaenopsis orchids. You're probably familiar with these orchids. They're sold in quite a few establishments. For us here in the shop, we love them. We actually have a whole area, a whole table dedicated to Phalaenopsis or any other type of orchid on a day-to-day basis. We just think they're beautiful, they're impactful, they can make great gifts, and I just think they're a nice addition in your home. Super long lasting, really low maintenance. There's not much not to like about an orchid. So I thought for today I'll take you through watering if they need to be watered, or plant up in a contemporary pot and in Victorian vintage terracotta. These pots are getting harder and harder to find, but actually they are our true love. We use them for so many things. Mini Phalaenopsis orchids, hyacinth bulbs, candle arrangements, a mini mix house like a ficus. I'm deviating here. Just imagine that planted in the correct size pot. Really lovely. They have drainage holes in too, so what is not to love? I'll actually go back onto these, but certain things you'd need a saucer because of the drainage hole. But anyway, Phalaenopsis orchid. What are we going to do first? So they come in all of this packaging, which is a little bit unnecessary. But underneath this packaging is a clear plastic pot, which you want to keep the orchid in. And if you follow us on other channels, or even now on this one, you may see years ago I did a little video about watering and the roots. This is the biggest top tip, and actually the biggest killer of orchids seems to be people overwatering. So this is the best thing to do. Green roots equals a hydrated and healthy plant. If these roots, not including the aerial roots, were grey and a little bit dry, that means they need hydrating. So because these are nice and hydrated, we don't need to water, and we can get straight on to potting in a nice ceramic vessel. Side note, this is the first time in 10 years I have seen Phalaenopsis orchid with like tight material attached to the top, and I'm just using the scissors to cut it off, but actually it's like the canes have been poked through it. I'm presuming it's to keep all the orchid bark in when traveling, even though they would be traveled upright, so I'm not quite sure as to why, but I'm definitely going to take it off. Let me know if you've seen this before, because I haven't. But we're going to take it off, and it's going to leave you with healthy aerial roots, beautiful leaves. Always check your plant before planting. Pest free, needs a bit of a dust. Beautiful flowers, loads and loads of buds. So for us, this is ready to pot up and embellish. It's probably about 65 centimetres. We're going to go for contemporary pots. You can always switch them out, or our customers can always switch them out if they prefer a different colour. And ideally, if you were to grow and wanted to produce more blooms on your orchid, once it's finished flowering, once it's had its first flush, then let it photosynthesize, take it out of the aesthetic pot and have it in its plastic nursery pot. But because this is going to be presented as a gift, we're going to place it in and add moss. So orchid placed in, nice and simple. Flat moss, carpet moss, nice and green, check there's nothing untoward underneath it, and simply place the moss on top, just below the rim of the pot. Turn it in. Make sure your plant isn't wobbling, because you don't want somebody to pick up your orchid and as soon as they lift it up or gift it, it's going to fly out. Really, really simple. So you'll notice on your orchids you've got kind of plastic ties to keep them in place, and some people aren't a fan of the sticks on smaller, shorter orchids. I'm not either. I prefer the orchid to look more natural, but because this is going to be moved around, we're going to take these little plastic ties off and we're going to replace it with something more aesthetic. Now you could use really cute ribbon, and we probably will nearer Christmas. We could do like a nice red ribbon, or mulberry is really lovely, but for a neutral and day to day we use a little raffia or straw. Purple would also look nice actually, but we're going to just take a couple of strands and loosely tie in place of plastic, and you can make a little bow. I'm just going to do a little knot, and then we use the other side just to go slightly lower or higher. Go slightly higher. Loosely tie. Now with Christmas coming up, I think a ribbon would look lovely, and maybe you can embellish with cones, but for the minute, simply that is it. Now let's go for orchid 2. I won't tip this up too much, but look how stunning these mini Phalaenopsis orchids are. Absolutely gorgeous. A whole host of colours. You've got a real kind of soft pale pink two-tone in the centre. You've got the dainty whites with a yellow centre. You have, this is really gorgeous. And you know, they'll look even nicer out of the plastic. Look at that. So I'm going to pick 3. And I'm going to go for this beautiful chunky Phalaenopsis. Take it out. So 3 beautiful mini Phalaenopsis orchids, roots hydrated. That means we are ready to place into a pot. Now, favorite, a little bit too low, so we will raise up with a bit of polystyrene, moss, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'll do 2 more, and then you would have an instant table runner. Absolutely beautiful, dainty, low maintenance, amazing gift. In terms of watering, it's about once a week to every 10 days. With orchids, is less is more with the Phalaenopsis. They really don't want to be too wet. That is one way you're going to kill your orchid and actually ruin the display, is by giving them too much attention and too much water. And here we actually water with tepid water. We don't use ice cold tap water or an ice cube, although I've heard that does work, but for us we don't want to shock the plant. 1, 2. Fraction, raising. This is really beautiful actually, this one, because the stem is so long. And you have so many buds. So you could with these ones, these actually have like a little clip and you can take them off the clip. So I might just see how sturdy they are without the clips, just to make them a little bit more natural looking. Will I add any raffia? I don't think so. Any ribbon? No. I think these are dainty enough in the pot. There you go. And then dust the leaves, just to keep them nice and dust free.